It can be difficult to design an effective user interface for a regular desktop application. However, web and mobile application user interfaces can be especially difficult to design from both a technical and a user perspective. From a technical perspective, you don't know if your web application is going to be accessed from a desktop or a mobile device. If a mobile app or device is a target, then what version of the operating system will you be using? Are you going to be targeting both the iOS and the Android, or just one? Will it need to be, therefore, cross-platform? And what will the size of the screen be? Are you going to be doing it for a tablet, a phone, one of the small, cheaper smartphones, or one of the big premium smartphones? What's the size going to be not only of the physical device, but the pixel density and how much resolution we have to work with? Additionally, you're not going to get to know or pick who your end users are, or what type of training or expertise they're going to have. With an enterprise application in an office, you can expect some sort of training for the users to perform standard tasks. But you cannot make that assumption for a mobile or web application. Therefore, an application should be designed so it anticipates the user's next move, especially on a mobile device, so the user doesn't have to do as much on their small screens. The interface should communicate the status of any activity initiated by the user. This is especially important as you may have some time between the request and the response. And users, especially if they're not technical, cannot easily tell if they've lost connection with the server. Because you do not want a frustrated user who quits using your app, you have to provide good messages to them. The interface should therefore communicate the status of any activity initiated by the user. This is true for everywhere, but it's a good reminder here. The design of your application, the interface, should optimize the user's work efficiency, not the efficiency of the developer who designs and builds it for the client, or the server environment that executes it. The interface and the content it presents should stay focused on the user's task at hand. There's a vast library of reusable human interface objects that have been developed for both the web and mobile apps. Use them. Don't try reinventing the wheel just to be cool or new, because in the end, you'll just end up confusing your end user. If you're developing for a mobile app, use the native user interface libraries to make it feel like your app fits in with that device. An application interface should be designed to minimize the learning time, and once learned, minimize relearning when the app is revisited. Therefore, an interface that uses an interaction metaphor is easier to learn and easier to use, as long as the metaphor is appropriate for the application and user. Once again, this is good for any user interface, but especially important in mobile and web development. All information presented through the interface should be readable by both young and old. Not all of your users are going to be 20 years old with 20/20 eyesight. A good example of this is bifocals. It is getting more and more common for people to start needing them around the age of 38. It's no longer just for your grandparents. When appropriate, the state of the user action should be tracked and stored so the user can log off and return to pick up where they left off. Think of something like a sign-up form that takes multiple pages, but it remembers where you were and what information that you had already put in when you go to sign up or maybe apply for a job online. If you remember these simple steps, you'll be on your way to creating a good user interface for your web and mobile apps.